Today is a very special day here at Garden State Tortoise because we just had some very quick success with a very rare group of turtles, and their babies are hatching right here before me. So stick around because I'm going to tell you all about these little gems in front of me and their amazing parents. Hey friends, make sure that you're subscribed to our channel. It really helps us out. And also don't forget to click the bell icon for notifications so you get notified every time we post a video. If you're a fan of reptiles and especially love turtles and tortoises and want to help us out here at Garden State Tortoise, please consider becoming a patron today by joining our Patreon. The link is always in the description of these videos, or you could just go to patreon.com and search Garden State Tortoise. These are Mexican box turtles, Terrapene mexicana, and if you've been paying attention to our videos over the last half year pretty much, then you might recall that these animals came to us from the Turtle Survival Alliance, who is the leading organization behind global turtle conservation. So a little history on those adults in case you did miss that video. The adults were illegally poached in Mexico and they were destined for the illegal pet trade in Hong Kong. Because certain shipments have to go through the United States before they go anywhere else, these animals just happened to be searched and seized by wildlife officials. They were then held at the Memphis Zoo, who did a great job in cleaning the animals up, sorting them, and finding out what the best case scenario would be for them. And then they went off to the TSA, the Turtle Survival Alliance, who then, of course, placed them here with us. The turtles have been doing fantastic, and what's truly amazing about them, as sad as the story behind them really is, they've been thriving for us remarkably, and in just a little amount of time the animals bred and we have our very first babies hatching right here in front of us. This is something that doesn't happen that often. More often than not, you are waiting a long time to see some kind of breeding success. But these animals are very important because even though they are in captive management, they represent some of the only actually legal specimens from this kind of situation, because there's actually no quota for those animals to leave their country. And what that means is certain countries where they still allow the wild collection of turtle and tortoise species have a certain quota that collectors can meet each year. That doesn't exist for the Mexican box turtle. So any of them that have come into other countries over the years, that actually was done illegally. So these guys are a beautiful ray of hope for their species in captive management. And let's get a close look at them now. They just look awesome. Okay, so we still have several eggs from the group incubating, but this was the very first clutch of 3 that were laid. They were laid on April 24th, and 3 very large eggs is what's typical for this species. Now this one right here was the last one to start hatching. He or she is not yet ready to come out, but it looks like these 2 are, so it's time to give them a good health inspection, make sure that they're well developed and ready for their first little bath. Now when you hear me say he or she, that's because we don't actually know the sex of these animals yet, and that goes for any baby turtle or tortoise because they all look like little females when they're born. The secondary sexual characteristics don't come out till much later in life because these animals are so long-lived and slow-growing, so you can't really tell what exactly they are going to be. Incubation temperature can play a role in influencing the sex, so it's possible that these animals are female. They hatched in less than 60 days, which means that they were being incubated at a slightly higher temperature, but this first little baby is very well-formed. He has perfect scoot arrangement, he or she that is, and you'll also notice the little umbilical right there. That's the yolk sac. That is the area where the animal was well nourished over the course of incubation. And when it first hatched, it probably still had some of that really jutting out. And that's going to feed the animal over at least the first week of life. So this little turtle is not going to be looking to really eat much for at least a week. They're so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you know, right now they might look kind of drab to you guys, just kind of one uniform, almost a greenish gray color. But as you can see with the adults, especially the males, they can develop some absolutely incredible colorations. Blues, reds, yellows, oranges, even white. So you'll also notice what's called the caruncle right there on the tip of the snout. That's referred to as an egg tooth also, but it's not actually a tooth. And it will fall off within, again, the first week of life. That's what the animal used to rip through the leathery eggshell. And all turtles and tortoises are born with that. So it's time for your first bath, little one. Wow, that is one cool looking turtle. It's amazing how they don't look anything like their parents yet. They really don't. But being drably colored like this, enables them to stay hidden from predators much easier than an adult would, because they're going to spend most of their time hiding in leaf litter and under plant life and stuff like that anyway. So being one uniform color like that, very easy to blend in with the earth until your shell hardens to solid bone and you're bigger, and you also have a plastral hinge that acts as a drawbridge, so you can seal yourself shut like all other box turtles can if something threatening comes along. All right, and the second one here, also ready to come out. Looking perfect as well. Perfect scoot arrangement. All eyes. Fingernails look great. It's absorbed most of its yolk sac. One other thing that's really interesting to point out about the Mexican box turtle, the eggs and the young are very large in comparison to a lot of the North American box turtles that we're more used to seeing, such as the Eastern box turtle, the Gulf Coast box turtle, three-toed box turtle, and Florida box turtle, to name a few. Their eggs and babies, as far as the Mexican goes, are actually more comparable to that of the ornate or desert box turtles. Those eggs are just big and the babies come out big. So these things are, in some cases, they're like double the size of a baby Eastern box turtle. I mean, we hatch some tiny Eastern box turtles and even Floridas. So it's really, really interesting to see such well-formed, brawny looking babies. Let's get you into your first bath too. So as I said, this third little baby, not yet ready to come out, so it'll stay in this container and go back into the incubator until it feels it's time that it fully emerges from its egg. It's probably not doing it yet because there's a good amount of the yolk sac that's still sticking out of it. So once it absorbs that, it feels a little bit stronger and ready to go, it can break out on its own. It's safe where it is for now. And as for these two, I'm gonna let them have a little bath for a while, then they'll go back into a container into the incubator for a little while. Box turtles like it dark for the first little portion of life because they know how vulnerable they really are. They have no idea they're in a captive management situation. So their instinct kicks in, tells them to hide, so keeping them dark and warm while they continue to be fed by the remnants of that yolk sac that they recently absorbed will help them stay stress-free. And then we're gonna essentially start raising them in water. We've done a lot of videos on how to raise baby box turtles properly, and because they have such a relationship with water, moisture, and humidity, it's actually good to start them in very shallow water in an extremely humid environment. So cool, really awesome stuff. But what do you say we go offer the adults a nice treat to celebrate their success story here? Because over the next 2 months, we're gonna be hatching more of these. So here's the hardworking parents right here with me right now. I'm giving them a little treat of banana. All box turtles love banana, but it should only be offered as a treat, of course, because there's a lot of sugar in it. Every once in a while, totally fine. And all of these females have been laying those big eggs I just showed you, so it's not a bad thing to get some extra nutrition in them right now and let them get beefed back up because they could be laying second clutches later this summer. What I wanted to show you real quick is the extreme diversity between the males and females. This is a male right here. Look at that insane amount of color. The colors don't even really make sense together. You've got blue and like a marbled effect on this guy, which then goes to yellow and orange and red and brown, and there's even some white. And of course, he's got those beautiful fiery red eyes that are classic of many box turtle species. But you'll notice that pretty much across the board, whether it's male or female, the shell of the Mexican box turtle is typically rather drab. And again, that helps them to blend in with their environment. The Eastern box turtles up here tend to have much brighter colored shells, but when you think about it, that helps them blend in with the orange, red, and yellow colored leaf litter and pine needles that often fall to the forest floor. So there's a nice close-up of these amazing turtles that are really thriving beautifully here in southern New Jersey. They love the heat, they love the humidity, and they're just getting to live as best of a life as they possibly can after all that they've gone through. And reproducing that quickly as they have done is really just a testament that these turtles are feeling pretty good. So again, thrilled to be working with this species. Wish I could change their past for them, but at least they're safe now. and I just can't wait to share more about them with you guys. And hey, if you did miss that initial video where we first accepted these turtles and introduced them to everybody, make sure you check out this video next.